Easily add various colors to your artwork using HLS. Hi everyone, I'm LiyanLyf. Today's tip is about colorful illustrations. When we talk about colorful illustrations, have you ever experienced choosing colors like green for leaves, brown for tree trunks, blue for the ocean, and white for snow? This choose the color of the object approach often confuses me, especially when I see works with so many rich colors that I can't even count them. I spent some time researching and have developed my own method, hoping to help you and inspire new creative ideas. The method introduced in this tips allows you to add various colors during the initial coloring phase or later in the creation process, whether you're using grayscale coloring techniques or direct color selection, without changing the overall sketch relationship. In Clip Studio Paint, there are two color spaces to choose from: HSV color space and HLS color space. HSV, composed of hue, saturation, and value. HS, composed of hue, saturation, and luminance. The difference between these two lies in value and luminance. Here's a simple example to understand the difference. We choose the hue as red and set value and luminance to 80%, then increase the saturation to 80% to see the effect. We can see that the red in HSV is very vibrant, while the red in HLS is a pale pink. Even though we set 80% saturation and red hue in both color spaces, why does the red in HLS look so pale? We can switch the image to grayscale mode to inspect. Grayscale mode converts the image to black and white, allowing us to quickly discern the sketch relationship of objects and colors. From this, we can see that HSV appears darker in grayscale mode when saturation increases. In contrast, HS does not alter the original sketch relationship. This means that regardless of the saturation level, as long as the luminance remains unchanged, HLS will maintain consistent objective brightness. The differences between HSV and HLS are: HSV value represents the change in color from black to bright, indicating the brightness or darkness of the color, which is a subjective visual perception. For example, from dark red to bright red, but not to pure white or black. HLS luminance represents the change in color from black to white, indicating the actual intensity of light, which is an objective brightness. For example, from black to dark red, then pink, and finally to white. First, click the top left of the Layers panel, or right-click on any layer. Choose New Color Tone Compensation Layer, Hue, Saturation, Luminance. Set Saturation to -100 and click OK. Ensure that the Color Tone Compensation layer is at the top. Now you can use the Color Tone Compensation layer to check the black and white sketch relationship at any time. After understanding how to check the black and white sketch relationship, let's get to the main point: how to add various colors. In short, use the HLS color space. Use the eyedropper tool to get HLS information at the desired color location. Change hue and saturation according to your preference while keeping luminance constant. Paint it in. Done. This way, you can add colors freely without disturbing the original sketch relationships. Isn't that simple? However, when you want to add colors on a larger scale, besides painting directly, I also use two selection tools to help me finish quickly. In this tutorial, I have prepared two examples. The first one is for when the sketch layers are still in the early stages, i.e., when there aren't many layers in grayscale mode, and I use the Magic Wand tool to assist. The second one is for when the sketch layers are already very detailed, and the Magic Wand tool has difficulty selecting large areas, so I use the Color Range tool to assist. Example 1. First, we create a new layer, set the blending mode to normal, and then open the previously created Color Compensation layer. Select the Magic Wand tool and enable Sample All Layers. The tolerance value below can be adjusted according to your work. The larger the value, the larger the selection area. Select a large area of shadow or highlight. Here, we choose the gray area that occupies the largest part of the shadow. At this point, we may find that some gray areas were not selected. Hold Shift to add these areas to the selection. How meticulously you select is entirely up to you. Of course, if each color was originally on different layers, it would be easier to select them. This example assumes that all layers have been merged, so manual selection is required. Use the eyedropper tool. You can also quickly switch to it by holding Alt in brush mode. Left-click on the area where you want to add color and check the HLS values at that location. Since we've activated the color compensation layer and set saturation to 0, both hue and saturation display as 0, with only luminance showing a value of 49%. Now, we can turn off the color compensation layer and sample the color at the same location again. As we can see, because we are no longer in grayscale mode, both hue and saturation now have values, but most importantly, luminance still remains at 49%. Congratulations! Now, as long as luminance remains unchanged, you can boldly adjust hue and saturation to apply your favorite colors. Remember to repeat the above steps each time you color a different area to ensure that the sketch relationships are preserved as much as possible. During the painting process, remember to frequently toggle the color compensation layer on and off and keep sampling colors to check the sketch relationships, ensuring that the final image aligns with the original sketch's overall structure. Don't stress too much about achieving complete accuracy. As long as the overall sketch relationships are consistent, that's enough. Example 2. Similar to Example 1, start by creating a new layer, set the blending mode to normal, and open the previously created color compensation layer. Select from the top toolbar, then choose Color Range. Set Fuzziness to 0.51 and left-click on the area where you want to replace the color. Since the image is in grayscale mode, the Color Range tool will select areas with the same luminance across the entire image, making it easy to paint with colors of the same luminance afterward. Just like in Example 1, use the eyedropper tool to obtain color information. You can quickly switch to it by holding Alt in brush mode. As we can see, with the help of the Color Range tool, it has selected areas with a grayscale value of 16:18 across the entire image. The slight variance is due to setting the fuzziness to 1 in the previous step. The smaller this value, the more precise the selection, but it will also take more time. Now, just maintain the luminance between 16:18 and start boldly adjusting hue and saturation to paint with your favorite colors. I'll temporarily move the normal layer above the color compensation layer here so you can see the results after coloring the selection. Remember to move it back later. After turning off the color compensation layer, press Ctrl+D to deselect, and let's take a look at the effect. Start repeating the above steps, applying different colors. Finally, you can use the airbrush or color mix tool to blend some colors, making them smoother. You can also keep some local colors, the original colors of the object. Here I chose to keep the skin tone of the face. All of these choices can be made according to your preferences, so feel free to play with colors boldly. Just like in Example 1, remember to frequently toggle the color compensation layer on and off and keep sampling colors to check the sketch relationships during the painting process, ensuring that the final image aligns with the original sketch's overall structure. Don't stress too much about achieving complete accuracy. As long as the overall sketch relationships are consistent, that's enough. I hope this tutorial has brought you some inspiration and ideas. If you liked it, feel free to leave a comment or give it the like to let me know. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and let's create some colorful illustrations together.